Saturday night, 9 p.m. Actually, I wanted to watch a movie, but I was thinking, what a waste of time to watch a movie. I want to do a Feldenkrais lesson, but I also want to upload a Feldenkrais lesson. I want to really do the shoulder lessons. So I was thinking I can do the lesson myself and explain to you what I'm doing in a way where I can guide you through the lesson and you can participate. We can do it together in a way. So here I set up a blanket and some pillows, and here I have a camera where I will make an overhead movie, and let's get to it. Let's get down on the floor. So I have a fairly wide angle so you can see all the movements. Put my pillows here. So come to lie on the floor onto your left side. Oh, I could lie on my back actually. But on the left side is also comfortable. Just make sure you have enough of a pillow. And be really on your left side. Don't be in a twist like I am now, but be on your left side, which means the knees are on top of each other, the feet are on top of each. The right feet is on top of the left foot. The right foot is on top of the left foot. The right knee is on top of the left knee. The right hip is on top, really on top of the left hip. The right shoulder is really on top of the left shoulder. And keep your left arm straight, not in the height of your nose and not in the height of your belly, but keep your left arm straight, extended, but don't push it straight. Don't force it to be straight. Just have it lying there, kind of straight, and make sure your hand is relaxed and your head is resting on the floor. And just place your right arm on top of your left arm. Ugh. And don't, it's not a zombie walk. It's really, 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 really relaxed. Just you lie there. And your fingers a little bit curled up because they're relaxed. And your elbow is fairly straight, but it's not like forced straight. It's just straight. So that's the first position, lying relaxed on your left side. If it's not comfortable for you on your left side, you can do it on the right side, but then you have to translate all the instructions to the right side. And try to keep your mind in the present, in your body, in this room, in where we are. Don't divert from where you are. Instead, think of your right hand and move your right hand a little bit away from you. Just push the right hand away from you, so the right hand will slide over your left hand. And just like a tiny little bit, a centimeter, 2 centimeters, an inch, half an inch. And then come back. Drag your hand back. So the hand is attached to your arm, right? To your right arm. Your right hand is attached to your right arm. So you have to push your right elbow. And the right elbow will push your right hand. So it's your right shoulder also. Drag your right shoulder backwards until your hands are on top of each other again. Maybe your whole body rolls a bit forward. Maybe you can feel your knee, your right knee come forward a little bit too. If you bring your right hand more away from your face, from your chest, slide the right hand away from you and then drag it back. So it's the hand you push and drag. Well, you have to use your whole body, your whole self to do this movement. Just really comfortable. It's not a big thing. It's very easy. You have seen it in the fast recap of the video. It's just back and forth and back and forth. And this is the opposite. This is like real time. It takes time to do this. Yeah, we need. In Blade Runner, he said, time is the fire in which we burn. And really, just keep continuing. Continue this movement, your right hand forwards and backwards. And we need time for this. This is not something we can hurry. And then also drag the right hand more towards your left elbow. Yeah? And forward. So you start with pushing it away and dragging it back, and then you start to drag it back, and keep your right elbow fairly straight as far as possible. So you start to roll and direct your face towards the ceiling, up, or the sky, wherever you are now. And then come back onto your left side. So it starts to be a rolling movement where you really elongate. Is it elongate your right arm? But it's not a forceful move. It's just really, really, this move in itself is should be very comfortable, and drag your right hand to your left elbow, and maybe bend your right elbow to move your right hand towards your left shoulder, and then back until you're fully on the left side again. Don't hold your head, don't hold your neck, keep your head rolling. Your head rolls on the pillow. Your head is supported by the pillow. It's not that your shoulders have to carry your head. No, it's the floor that carries your head. Yeah, it's the floor. You can trust the floor. It's there. The floor is there. Usually the floor doesn't disappear. For some sinkholes in Mexico, maybe. But in the rest of the world, the floor is just there. Most of the time. You can trust the floor. Submit your head to the floor, and your shoulders and your torso and your hip and your legs, and you're just lying there and rolling. Maybe it's not the inside of your hand that's on the floor. Maybe it's your thumb. Feel, maybe your whole arm can rotate. Your whole arm can rotate when you roll forwards. And rotate when you roll backwards. Just feel. I don't want to tell you in which way the arm rolls or rotates. You have to feel that. Just find it yourself by finding what is easy. Go with easy. Let go. Submit. Just like, don't control anymore. Just let yourself go and dissolve in a way in this movement, but you're present, you're observing and moving at the same time. It's an experiment. You're part of this world. You're inside of this world. You're the thing that makes up this world. Not makes up as a kind of fantasy, but you're here. You're part of it. Explore and move at the same time. It's an observation and doing something. And then see how far can you roll. Maybe you can bring your right arm to your right side over your whole body. And always keep your neck relaxed, really. You need to have your head on the floor. The head is supported by the floor. That's why I'm saying this. Because if there's tension in the neck, if you try to control your head with the neck, you won't be able to roll. You won't be able to bring your right arm to your right side. And come back. So that's the first movement. I give you a second movement. Place your hand on your forehead, your right hand onto your forehead, so that the fingers are on the left side of your forehead. And the edge of your hand is parallel with your eyebrows. You can have a look at the video. That's what I mean. And then continue with the rolling movement. So there's a connection between the head and the forehead. It's a constraint. So now when you move your arm, your head really has to move. And this is the two direction. Bring your right shoulder behind you, or your the right elbow behind you, or the right elbow to your left elbow. So you're really rolling your head. But again, don't hold your head. Just let your head be on the floor, on the pillow, and just roll the head with the help of your right hand. Such a comfortable movement. Let go everywhere. Let go of all the tension. You don't have to do it big, you can do it small or take rests. Whenever you want, take rests. You can lose me. You can indulge in this rolling and holding and letting go and all these things you can experience. Just be there, indulge. And if you lose me, you lose pace in the video, you just rewind. You don't even have to rewind. You just click on where you have been before and then continue. Enjoying this rolling on the floor. How can such a simple thing give so much joy? And then at some point just continue until you're on your back. Just fall onto your back. And then experience this. Experience being on your back. Without tension. With no form. No, you didn't park yourself. You didn't sort yourself on your back. You just fell onto your back and you just don't correct your shoulders, don't correct your arms, don't bring anything in any position where you think they should be. Just be there. Just be wherever you fell onto your back. And then come onto your left side again. In the starting position. Really on your left side with your right arm on top of your left arm and try this first movement again and see how did it change because you did the other movement with the head on your forehead, with your hand on your forehead. How did the second movement change the first one when you try it? Maybe you need to, I need to correct my pillow because now my head is ready to roll more. My face is ready to look to the floor when I turn to the left. I hope I don't completely mess up the microphone recording here. All right. Now, I give you a third movement. A third thing to try. Interlace your fingers. Have your hand and arm straight in front of you, but interlace your fingers. And now push your right knee forwards, which means your hip rolls to the left. And then drag your right knee backwards and keep your feet on top of each other. Don't move your feet, just the feet are on top of each other, but the upper knee, the right knee, moves forwards and backwards. So your hip rolls forwards and backwards. And you can feel there's a constraint with the hands. If you let go of the hands, you will be able to roll backwards and forwards. But because your fingers are interlaced, this restricts movement in a way, but then you can find movement in other places where you wouldn't have been able to find it without this constraint. Because your fingers are interlaced and your knees moving backwards and forwards, you can maybe find some movement in your torso, some twisting movement in your torso, initiated from your knee, initiated from your pelvis, forwards and backwards. Or you can always let go of your hands and just feel how it is when you're completely free, when there's no constraint and you can roll forwards and backwards and then snap. Interlace your fingers and then it's just the hip that can move. And then take a rest again. Just be lying on your left side. And then return to the first move, which is to push away your right hand with the help of your elbow, with your right shoulder, and maybe your whole arm rotates. Maybe your head rolls, so your face comes towards the floor. And see how far you can go now. And then pull your hand backwards over your left elbow, over your left shoulder, over your chest. And see, maybe your head rolls, maybe your head extends backwards. Just see where everything goes, where movement is possible now, where it wasn't before, how this first move changed. For me, this is deeper than meditation. This is really being present. You have to be aware of, you have to be present. You have to concentrate here, on the now. You have to be here to observe these things. What is happening to your foot? What is happening to your knee, the other knee, your pelvis, your ribs? How do the ribs rotate? Where do they not rotate? Where are limitations? How is your shoulder blade moving over your chest, over your rib cage, or doesn't it? Is your shoulder blade coming closer to your spine and moving far away? And how is your head rolling? And you got so many vertebrae, like 7 in the neck, 12 in the chest, 5 in the lumbar region. And everything can move a little bit, and some can bend and extend, some can rotate, some can do side flexion. And just go with this movement and come onto your back again and lie on your back just the way you fell on your back. I have to stop the video because my camera can only record 4 gigabytes, and then I have to stop and restart. Or maybe the lesson is finished now, I don't know. How is it? Is it finished? Is there one more move? Let's see. If it's finished, it's finished. If it's not finished, it's not finished. But maybe it is. Okay, there are 2 more things you could do. One move, just to fit into this lesson. I think this is part of a longer lesson, but I only know these 4 or 5 moves of this lesson. You could lift your arm and bring it over up to the ceiling and back to the side, instead of dragging it. Lift it instead of dragging it. And there's everything in between. Half lifting, just lifting it a little bit, just folding your elbow. So there's one thing, you see it's very open. It's not a set rules. These movements are sequenced, and one movement improves the other movement. They improve each other. They are interrelated, they're relatives. Movement that fit into each other like pieces of a puzzle, but the puzzle is endless. It's a huge puzzle. But the pieces really fit together. One more thing maybe I can give to you is when you have your hand on your forehead and you roll your head backwards and you're twisted onto the other side, and maybe your right knee leaves your left knee because you don't want to force it down, right? You want to just see what happens and let what happens, happens. And when you want to come back, you can use your right knee to push the right knee forwards to drag your right elbow over and come to lie onto your left side again. So that's like 4 or 5 movements in total, and then you can do the same thing on the right side. Do we have to do it on the right side? Just come back onto your back and see how you feel. Do you feel even? Is your left shoulder lying as comfortable as your right shoulder? If it isn't, you have to do it on the right side. If you do this lesson, this movement sequence for the first time ever, maybe there's a difference maybe there's a big difference between how your left shoulder rests on the floor compared to your right shoulder. Might be a huge difference. For me, not so much. And I've seen students who do this lesson often, not so much. It just gets deeper. The experience gets deeper, but it's more balanced. It's not out of, it's not off anymore. You can do it the same thing on the right side. Just restart the video or do what you can remember. All right, so I hope this was a nice way to do a presentation. If you like this kind of presentation, leave a comment or like the video. I like to talk like this. So this is really, I do the lesson for myself and I explain what I'm doing, and I hope we were able to do it together.